So The Marvels is kind of annoying to me because it feels like a movie that I would have loved that's been chopped down and shrunken until all that's left is a movie that's just okay. While I was watching it, it occurred to me that the best way to describe it is that it's like the really solid premiere of one of the more sci-fi heavy seasons of Power Rangers, complete with a wacky sitcom-style B-plot, which I know some people will find too childish, but which I really liked. Really, I liked everything in this movie, it's just that all of those things get rushed by at light speed. The movie really could have used another 15 to 20 minutes to just let scenes breathe. There's moments here that should be really impactful and memorable that just aren't allowed any breathing room, as though the movie's in a rush to end itself. Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani are a great triple act as Carol, Monica, and Kamala respectively, with Carol of course being the brash, impulsive one, while Monica is the brainy straight man, and Kamala is the pure-hearted moral center and comic relief. Unfortunately, while I think the basis for the relationship and the characterization is pretty fun all around, the actual character arcs once again suffer from that rushed nature, and end up being the kind of thing that only really lands on paper. There's the bones of a really great character arc in here about challenging Carol's tendency to charge into situations guns blazing, and how getting humbled between movies just made her redirect that flaw rather than actually outgrow it. Likewise, there's the bones of a cool arc about Kamala learning to not dehumanize Carol through her hero worship, and of Monica learning to let loose and have fun a little bit. But like everything else here, all three of those arcs and the emotional moments meant to punctuate them are kinda blitzed by. Like, this really can't be stated enough, this is the most rushed that any MCU project has ever felt. Really though, it wouldn't be right to move past without mentioning that if anything, it's Iman/Kamala who still carries the movie. Kamala's family is along for the ride for most of the film, and they're as charming and lovable as ever. If this movie accomplishes anything, it's making me want to go back and rewatch that series, and remind anyone that if you slept on it, you're a pleb. Heavily advertised characters like Park Seo-joon are basically cameos. It really feels like they cut just enough out of the movie to be conspicuous and annoying. Much like the leads, Zalway Ashton is trying her best to deliver a compelling performance as the villain, but unfortunately Dar-Ben is one of those characters who has an interesting motivation and even an interesting plan, but no real strong character or memorable dialogue to hang those cool trappings off of. I really like the movie's action, which is frankly something that I've been looking forward to since that initial teaser. The whole swapping places when they use their powers gimmick makes for some of the most creative action that the MCU's had in a little while, but even the fight scenes feel like something the movie's in a rush to be done with. I don't know, there's just franchise, studio, edit bay fingerprints all over this one, especially in the very final moments where what should have been a very tender, emotional ending scene, which is rushed through so that the movie can actually end with what feels like it should have been the mid-credits tag. The actual mid-credits tag is whatever. It's a really well-acted bit that gives away to a legacy cameo, which the bloom has well and truly faded off of at this point. Overall, the movie's fine. It's a harmless B action comedy with sprinkles of decent drama, and some really cool fight scenes. Apart from how much money it does or doesn't make, it's not the kind of movie that's gonna move the needle on the wider MCU conversation one way or the other. Within the whole franchise, I'd describe it as low to mid-tier, which means don't rush out, but do give it a whirl at some point for a decently good time. If by chance you've already seen it, let me know what you thought in the comments. This was supposed to be a short because I've been doing those for a while, but I actually had enough to say that I figured this kind of mini video was worth it. The next thing that comes up is hopefully going to be one of those things that I've been working on for a little while, and which should be far more positive than this is, so if you're looking forward to that, then give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.